Steve McQueen's dispute with Hollywood ended tragically as he battled cancer. Despite his iconic status, the final act of this Hollywood legend was marked by personal struggles. What unforeseen challenges awaited him in his last days? Steve McQueen had a tough childhood. His family was not happy, and when he was only 9, he bravely ran away from a home filled with violence. Instead of staying in such a troubled place, he decided to live on the tough streets. This difficult start in life played a big role in making McQueen strong and able to face problems with courage. This challenging time in McQueen's early life helped him become the brave person he was later on. At a very young age, he learned to deal with tough situations and not let them defeat him. This ability to face problems head on became a crucial part of his character. Steve McQueen's dad was a stunt pilot, someone who does exciting and daring tricks in the air. This had a big impact on Steve when he was just growing up. He loved the thrill and excitement that came with speed and adventure, and it all started because of what he saw his dad do. But things were not always happy in Steve's family. His mom had a lot of problems in her relationships, and this made Steve's life more complicated. There were many emotional ups and downs because of this, adding another layer of difficulty to his early years. So, even though he had the cool influence of his dad, there were also tough times because of his mom's struggles with relationships. Sometimes, in the middle of all the troubles, Steve McQueen found short breaks from the chaos. These breaks happened on his grandparents' farm in Missouri, where he could enjoy brief moments of happiness. It was a place of peace and calmness for him. Sadly, this peaceful time didn't last long. On his grandparents' farm, Steve experienced a different side of life, away from the difficulties of his troubled family. The farm offered a temporary escape from the challenges he faced growing up. However, the calmness was disrupted by choices made by his mother. These decisions brought back the uncertainty and difficulties of his troubled childhood. Even though the farm provided a glimpse of a more serene life, it was just a temporary refuge. The disruptions caused by his mother's actions emphasized the instability that followed Steve, making it clear that finding a lasting sense of peace and security was an ongoing struggle in his early life. The brief respites on the farm became poignant interludes in the larger narrative of Steve McQueen's challenging journey toward a more stable and fulfilling life. Steve McQueen faced tough times in school because of dyslexia, a difficulty with reading and writing. Reading and understanding words were hard for him. Also, he had ear infections when he was a kid, which made things even more challenging. Imagine trying to learn when the words are jumbled up in your head and you can't hear well. But here's the thing about Steve. These tough times in school didn't stop him. In fact, they were like practice for the even bigger challenges he would face later in life. It's like when you learn to ride a bike. It might be tricky at first, but the more you practice, the better you get. So, Steve's struggles with dyslexia and ear infections were like practice sessions for his future. They taught him to be strong and not give up when things got hard. Little did he know that these early challenges were shaping him into a person who would overcome much bigger obstacles in the years to come. Life threw some tough lessons at him, but Steve McQueen was ready to face them head on, showing the world that he could handle anything that came his way. At just 9 years old, Steve McQueen faced a tough and challenging time living on the tough streets of Indianapolis. He had no home to go to and found himself joining a group of kids in a street gang. Life was difficult, and he got involved in small crimes while trying to survive in a world of challenges. This part of his life became like a tough test, pushing him to be strong and resourceful. It was a difficult time, but it played a big role in making him determined and persistent, qualities that would later help him find success. Picture a little boy, barely 9, facing a world that was not kind. Steve McQueen found himself without a home and ended up with other kids in a street gang in Indianapolis. Together, they did small wrong things just to get by. Life was not easy. It was like a hard test for him. Yet, in facing these difficulties, he became strong and clever in finding ways to survive. This challenging time, although tough, became the building blocks for his determination, pushing him towards success later in life. After a short stay with his family in Missouri, Steve McQueen's life took a big turn when he joined Boys Republic, a special school for troubled youth. This school helped him by providing rules and structure, giving him a chance to get better and grow as a person. When he came back to Los Angeles, things got tough for McQueen. His stepfather was very mean and would beat him severely. But in one important moment, McQueen made a choice that changed his life. This decision set him on a new path for his future. Wanting to leave his difficult past behind, McQueen joined the Marines when he was just 17 years old. Even though he faced some setbacks, he showed great bravery during a dangerous rescue mission in icy Arctic waters. Being in the military not only made him more disciplined, but also let his natural courage shine through. In simple terms, after a hard time in Missouri and facing troubles in Los Angeles, McQueen went to a special school. Then he made a big choice for a better life. He later joined the Marines, where he showed a lot of courage in a dangerous mission. These experiences helped shape him into the brave and disciplined person he became. After using the GI Bill, Steve McQueen started a new journey in New York by joining acting classes. This was a big change from his earlier days when he used to race motorcycles to make money. It showed that McQueen could adapt to new things and was determined to follow a different path. This shift marked a crucial moment in his life, where he decided to pursue a career in acting. Steve McQueen's love life had its ups and downs. He got married, including a marriage to actress Neil Adams. These marriages revealed the complexities of his personal relationships, with moments of happiness and challenges. The different experiences in his romantic life added more layers to McQueen's already interesting and varied life story. McQueen tried something new by taking acting classes in New York, leaving behind his motorcycle racing days. This change showed that he was determined to do something different. When it comes to love, McQueen had good and bad times in his marriages, especially with actress Neil Adams. These experiences made his life story even more interesting and complicated. McQueen's breakthrough in Hollywood came with a TV series Wanted Dead or Alive, and significant roles in films such as The Magnificent Seven and The Great Escape. This marked the realization of his acting ambitions, propelling him into the spotlight and solidifying his status as a Hollywood icon. The movie Bullet had a lot of money problems, and because of that, they had to stop Steve McQueen from working on it, even though there was a lot of trouble while making the movie. Bullet ended up being a really good and famous movie. This part of Steve McQueen's career shows how much he cared about doing things perfectly. Even when things were difficult, he didn't want to compromise on the quality of his work. This made people think of him as someone who always wanted things to be just right. Imagine you're building something with Legos and it's not going well. Instead of finishing it quickly, you decide to take your time and make it perfect. That's what Steve McQueen did with his movies. Even if things got tough, he didn't want to rush or make something less good. This made Bullet special, and people remember it as a classic, like a really cool and timeless thing. So, Steve McQueen's dedication to doing things perfectly left a mark on his career and made his name famous in a special way. Steve McQueen wasn't just a hero on screen, he was a real life hero too. One time, there was a big fire at an event where he was promoting something. Instead of running away, he bravely jumped in to help. This showed everyone that he was a fearless and quick thinking person, both in the movies and in real life. This event is a perfect example of what kind of a person McQueen was. He didn't just act brave, he was brave. His courage wasn't just for show, it was a real part of who he was. Whether the cameras were rolling or not, Steve McQueen was always ready to face danger with a fearless and instinctive spirit, proving that true heroes exist both on and off the screen. In conclusion, Steve McQueen's journey from a challenging childhood to Hollywood stardom reflects resilience and courage. Like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories.